Yes. Your head might be in it. Is it working? I moved it to the side for that reason. Hi everybody. I'm going to start putting back on the park run, which is Saturday mornings. We meet here at 7:30 and take a real slow run down to the park at Princess Park. And it's a 5K run, you just run at your own pace. We just do it as like a community thing, so you just go in your own time bracket, and then it's pretty good because you run and kind of really challenge yourself, but it's fun. So Russell comes with us, and Ross and I go every week. So I'm going to put it on the schedule, and if you want to come, you can just book it and meet us out the front at 7:30. Yeah. Your face, Ali, is like... You're like, you're serious? You want me to get up? Yeah. It is a good challenge though. So today we're going to be focusing on kind of the highs and lows of yoga, in the sense of when you're in a really challenging practice and you're breathing heavy and it's difficult, and then the parts of yoga when it's really relaxing and you're like sinking into your body and you're giving yourself a big stretch. And the reason why yoga is built, bless you, in this sort of bell curve like this, and the reason why is because of your automatic or autonomic nervous system. So you start off on the floor when you're doing really relaxing moves, you're breathing, and you're getting into that parasympathetic nervous system. And that is, does anyone know what things that controls? Like what types of things your automatic or autonomic nervous system controls? Yeah, so it's like your stress reactions, like your heartbeat, your digestion, your reproductive system, blood pressure, like all your hormones. So it's really, really important. So when we're breathing really shallow in the chest, we automatically go into that, sympathetic nervous system, which is flight or fight, where you're stressed, because that's when you're about to run from a bear or your boss that just sent you a really pissed off email. And what yoga tries to do is it will start off in a very sympathetic nervous system where you're relaxed, and then it will go up and then back down. So that's the sort of way that a class is built, and the purpose of it is to teach your body that you can get into that more stressful or like built up energy place, but then you can also come back down. Because that's the healthy nervous system, is you can rise up and be in that position of high energy and high alert, but then you can also come out of it, because we spend in modern society so much time in that flight or fight response that we don't know how to get out of it. So we sit there on our phones doing like 20 things in the evening, and then we can't sleep because our body is just like not used to relaxing. So you'll find in yoga, it's like an ancient tradition, and it's kind of teaching that nervous system when you can relax and when you can go up into more active postures, and then to come back down. So it's that really nice training of the nervous system to help you relax. So let's start off on our backs, and we'll tap in to that rest and digest nervous system. You're welcome to take any variation of your Shavasana pose that you like. And we'll start with some Samavritti, which means equal part breathing. So with this breath, you try to breathe as naturally as you can with not much stress around it or forcing. We'll start with 4 counts, and then if you wish to increase it, please do, or if you wish to decrease the counts, please do. So we'll take a slow inhale together just to prepare, and a slow and steady breath out. Taking one more, just the same, slow and steady breath in. And a slow and steady breath out. We'll inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. And now continue that breath at a pace that feels right for you. Without forcing or effort. Seeing if there's some muscles you can release that are holding on. Allowing your belly to rise and fall with the breath. And by doing this, we tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest. By breathing in this way, you are telling your body you are safe. And your body releases the hormones to allow you to relax. Taking your final round of breath in this way. And when you're done, you can gently bring your knees together and windscreen wipe the legs from side to side. Coming back into the space. Are you taking a couple of yawns? If you got into that place, that's a good sign, yeah. That's good, that meant you really relaxed. And then we start to pick up the energy, we start to get ourselves ready for the class. We'll start with some core to wake up and fire up the belly. Interlace hands behind neck and head, bring the shins up parallel to the floor, flex the toes and push that lower back into the floor. Elbows point towards the roof. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift up, head and shoulders up off the floor. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Make sure that left shoulder isn't resting on the floor. Lift it up if it is. Inhale back to center, keep head and shoulders up. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg to 90 degrees. Inhale to center. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Make sure that sacrum is pushing into the floor. Inhale to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Inhale to center. Option to lower the head if you want for a moment. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten right leg. Reach the right hand over the top. Push it into that left quad. So the more that you push, the more your core has to work. Push the sacrum into the floor, support that head with the left hand. Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, left hand comes over the body, pushing it into that right quad. Feel the abs engage, push the sacrum into the floor. Keep breathing. Inhale to center. Exhale both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Cross that hand over, push it into the quad. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Cross over the body, push it into the quad. Feel the core engage, chin to chest. Last round, let's go. Inhale back to center. Exhale both elbows to left knee, straighten that right arm over. Option, left hand grabs right wrist. Pull yourself up, breathe. Oh my God. Come back to center. Exhale, both elbows to right knee, straighten left leg. Left hand comes over, right hand grabs left wrist, pull up. Breathe, smile, swear, whatever. Inhale back to the center, lower the head and lower the feet. They say when people swear, they feel pain less, so. Yeah, well, everyone said they used to swear at me with the online classes, so. They're like, I can't just stop swearing at you in class. You can windscreen wipe the legs. Bring the knees in, maybe some little circles, one way and then the other. If you like a little bit of rock and roll, you can rock forward and back. And if that feels good on the spine, maybe you can get enough to have enough momentum to bring you up to tabletop. Otherwise, just come up to tabletop in any way that feels good for you. We'll take a few cat-cows. So inhale, belly drops, gaze up. And exhale, push the floor away. I'm feeling my abs after Pilates on Thursday, I tell you what. Inhale, drop the belly. If you haven't tried Pilates class yet, you should come along on a Thursday. And exhale, push the floor away. We'll move into a thread the needle. So raise that right arm up, maybe gaze to top hand. Exhale, thread onto the body. Now here you have a few options. If this is your first time, you can stay here. If you would like to lift that left arm up into a half bind around your back, you're welcome to do that. If you want to try a little balance, you can straighten that right leg behind you, maybe fly it up off the floor. And maybe if you have the bind, you can go for it behind your back. Just an option if you want to have a play. To come back out from whichever version you took. Hand back on the floor to support your weight. Push up, back into your tabletop. Cat-cow, inhale, belly drops, gaze up. Exhale, really push the floor away and round out through the back. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale, prepare. Inhale, reach hand up. Left side, threads under the body. Thread the needle on the left. Now, option to stay here, or if you want half bind, that top arm comes around to grab or go towards that thigh on the left. Option to straighten that back, the right leg, and maybe, oh, sorry, I'm doing the wrong leg. Left leg, no right leg. Left leg. And then maybe lift it up, and if you can, reach behind you. Coming out from wherever you went in, placing the hand on the floor, back to center. Now walk the hands forward, tuck the toes, push up and back, downward facing dog. We have a couple of options here. We're going to do some external rotations of the glute. And if you would like to work on more of your shoulder strength, so I know people like Lydia love a little bit of dolphin. So people, you might want to come into this one in dolphin pose instead to work on your shoulders. Otherwise, stay in your downward facing dog. Raise that right leg up and bend the knee, flex the foot. We're going to, from here, just take the knee out to the side and in again. So rather than rotating the hip, so the hip is even, but the glute is just taking the knee out and in. Out to the side and back in. And if this doesn't feel right, you can do little circles, which sometimes helps people engage through that glute. You can have a little play with stretching the hamstring through the left side by pushing gently that heel towards the floor. So we're taking those external rotations in any way that feels like you're activating that glute. One more. Lowering that right leg, lifting up the left. So three-legged dog, flex the foot, bend the knee. And from this one, you can just take the knee out to the side and back in. This is a really isolated movement for the glute min and the glute medium. If it feels better to do circles, you can also do that, but try and keep those hips stable without opening to the sides. So the muscle is doing the work rather than rotation through the bones. Keep breathing. One more. Exhale, lower the foot. Walk the feet up towards the hands. Now come onto your tippy toes and try to put as much weight as you can onto your palms. So it's almost like you're going to go into an imaginary handstand, but you won't. and then fold forward. So the reason why we do that is it starts to train our shoulders. Inhale to halfway lift, flat back, and exhale to fold. Breath in, roll up, bend through knees, hands through heart center, reach tall, big smiles, and exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway. So optional, I really like to have my hands on my shin, but if it feels okay, you can also have your hands on the floor. It'll give you more of a stretch through the hamstring. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back into your plank. So, with chaturanga, I'd recommend doing it on your knees until you think you're super, super strong to be able to do it off your knees to protect your shoulders. So let's, for the first one, do it on your knees. Bring the chest forward, bend the elbows, feel them brush towards the sides of the body. Stop halfway, don't move. Exhale, come back up. Breath in, and exhale, come down halfway. Hold it. Take a breath in. Exhale, back up. Take it slow. Inhale, one more, come down. Hold. Exhale up. Last version, I promise. Coming down slow all the way to the floor. Really squeeze that glute, stay active through the whole body. Inhale, baby cobra. Optional to lift the hands and lift the feet. Squeeze the glutes, chin to chest, and look at the top of your mat to get that nice long neck. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the legs here. So straightening one leg and bending the other, feeling into those hamstrings. Nodding or shaking the head to release that neck. Looking towards the belly button allows your neck to get really nice and long. Just a little life hack for yoga. Look towards or in between the hands. Option to jump, step, or tiptoe forward between the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach tall. Big breath in. Maybe a little back bend if that feels good. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands to floor. Step or jump back and move through your flow. Optional knees on floor or one-legged chaturanga push-ups, anything that you want to do today for your chaturangas is up to you. And downward facing dog. Take a pedal out of the legs. Can you release the jaw if you are clenching the teeth? I sometimes open my mouth and just move my jaw around because I tend to hold it really tight in yoga. Breath in, right leg rises. Breath out, step between hands. Inhale, come up into crescent lunge. So we're going to sink low in this crescent lunge, and you should start to feel the hip flexor here start to stretch. If it's too much, just bend the knee, all right? If it feels good, you can sink low. Hands up, rotate those shoulders in. Exhale, come into warrior two. We drop the back foot, gaze to the front finger. I like to just check my knee, that it's not coming in, that it's actually going out towards the pinky toe. Just means it's stacked over the ankle. A little deeper in that front knee, yeah. Exhale, hands down, step back and flow. Choose your option, high to low plank. Breath in, up dog. Now up dog, you can have the thighs on the floor or squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, maybe the thighs lift. Exhale, down dog. Breath out. Left leg rises, breath in. Exhale, step between the hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Sink lower, slide the back foot back a little. Tilt that tailbone. If you're in that real back bend, see if you can tilt the tailbone in. It may mean you have to bend the back knee. Exhale, warrior two. Place that foot down. Get nice and deep into that knee. Just make sure you can see your toes. Breath out, hands down. Step back, flow, choose your option. Knees to the floor is always a good option for chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, we meet, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Pedal out legs, get your hands in the right spot. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, step between hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Flip front palm, reach forward, reverse. So reach tall. You can keep the chin towards the chest. I love a back traction. Left hand on your left hip and push the hip bones down. Gives you way more of a stretch through the front body without crunching into your spine. Exhale, triangle, straighten that front knee. Reach forward like you're tilting down, like a teapot. And reach tall through that top hand. You can just gaze towards the floor, relax that right ear to right shoulder, whatever feels good for you. Try pushing the toes into the floor and the heels into the floor, then almost ripping them apart to create activation. Bend the knee, hands come down, frame the foot, step back, flow. High to low. Breath in, come up. Breath out, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step between hands. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Exhale, sink. And then warrior 2, breath out. Flip front palm, reach forward, reverse. Paint that ceiling, reach tall. If you want a back traction or to give it a try, you're just pushing the hip bow down to get it around compression. Exhale, triangle. Reach forward and tilt. See if you can open that right hip towards the side. It's an opening movement of the hip. You can have a little micro bend in that front knee, especially if you know that you're hypermobile. Bending through the front leg, hands frame the front foot. Step back, flow. So your flow is your vinyasa, high plank to low plank, breath in, up dog, breath out to down dog. Last round, we add a couple more poses. We go a little faster. Here we go. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step between hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Now from here, bend the front knee, extended side angle, getting deep into the hips. You can rest on the quad, or you can bring that top hand over. Anna's already doing it. Or you can bring both if you want to hold your beach ball. If you'd rather come into a bind, that top end comes behind you for half bind or full bind. If you have your bird of paradise, you can take it. If you want to try something a little more challenging, you can do what Russell's doing and come into your bound half moon, which is really hard. So you can take your option. Come down to frame your front foot when you're ready. Whichever pose you've taken. Yeah, it's good. From here, step back into plank. Right hand into the center of the mat, opening to the left, coming into side plank. Now you can lower that bottom knee or come onto your elbow to make this a little easier. You can raise the top leg to make it a little more challenging or come into a bind. So grab your big toe, straighten the leg, and have a play with that. There's a little bit of Ashtanga for you. Now optional to come into a wild thing. That top foot comes over, open the chest. Just an option. And when you're done, come back through your plank. Lower your knees, chaturanga, high to low. Breath in, up dog. And breath out, down dog. So this is where we're getting into that sympathetic nervous system. The heart is working. You're getting excited. Inhale, reach that left leg tall. Exhale, step between hands. Inhale, rise into crescent. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reach and reverse. Exhale into triangle pose. Now, bend that front knee. Everything, you might need to slide a little wider. Come into extended side angle. Reach tall through the top hand, option 1, or to the front of the room, or your beach ball. Or come into your half bind, which is grabbing your thigh, or full bind. Bird of Paradise, but if you've nailed that one, you might want to start working on bound half moon, which, yeah, it's really pretty challenging. I can do one side today, it seems. And when you've had enough, come into your plank. It's actually way harder than it looks, like, isn't it? Well, it looks hard too, actually. Step back into plank. Left hand comes onto the floor, we'll come into the side plank. Now, optional to lower that bottom knee or raise the top leg or come into the bind if you want to have a play with your hamstring work. One breath here. And optional, you came into Wild Thing, perfect one, Lydia. Yeah. It was a stack, but it was perfect. Come into Wild Thing, optional. Come back over, plank, knees to floor, chaturanga or full chaturanga, whatever gets you going today. Breath in, up dog, and breath out, downward facing dog. Pedal through legs, optional little child's pose. If at any point it gets too much, you can come and chill, take a break. You do not have to take option 3, you can take option 1 through any of these postures. Having a drink of water if you need it. So we're at the peak of our little bell curve right now. Coming back into down dog when you're ready. Pedaling out through legs. Breath in, right leg rises. Breath out, step between the hands. We're going to walk that foot out towards the right, coming into lizard pose. So on your hands or on your elbows. Keeping that back knee up is going to make it fiery. If you want to come more into flexibility, you can lower the knee. So please stay here if this is what you're vibing. If you want something a little more, I've got a couple of options. You can come into a bind where the knee is up. You can bring that shoulder behind you and come into a bind behind your back. That's one option. If you want to try a little arm balance, Kundanyasana, you can bring that shoulder underneath, make that little shelf, and start to come up. Bending the knee makes it a little easier. But that's just an option. Take whichever one. Have a look at that, it helps you. If you want, it's hard, yeah, but it's just an option, only if you feel like fruity for it today. Otherwise, I really love a little bit of lizard. I'll be like, let's just do what he's doing. And you can relax your head down, coming to lizard pose, whichever version you took. This is where we take a breather and let yourself sink a little. Don't get too comfortable yet. Untuck the back toe. We're coming up for a lunge, so prepare your legs so they're strong. Inhale, come up into crescent. Exhale, sweep hands behind you, arrowhead. Tilt the tailbone, bring the ribs in, push into that front heel and your back heel. Optional to make it a little more fiery, reach forward, extend the arrowhead. Keep breathing. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist towards the right. Again, a class of options. You can stay here, great option. Or open the arms. This is going to deepen the twist. You can also come into the hands at prayer and try and raise that back leg up into a little float. Quite hard after doing park run today, I have to say. Don't know how you're doing it, Russell. And then from here, if you want your side crow, that's also an option for those of you who can do side crow. You can also bring your hands down and have a little play. So it's a different transition to normal. And then when you had enough, open up into warrior 2. And you can swear at me in your mind. Take a breath. Look in front of the foot, coming into half moon. So I like to place my hand down, walk the foot, and then come up. If you want to float the hand, it will give you a little bit more of a challenge with your balance. Flex your back foot. Keep breathing. Optional to come into a little bind in the back foot. Great, some of you going for it. Doesn't matter if you're not. And then when you're ready, standing leg splits. Close the hip Fold forward over that right leg. Keep breathing. Flex that foot, see how it feels, and then point it and see how it feels. Choose the option that feels best. Exhale, bring the foot down, fold forward, breath out. Grab your elbows, ragdoll, step the feet apart. Swing gently from side to side. Hands to floor, step back, downward facing dog. Taking your option here, little child's pose if you need it, drink of water. We'll take a couple of breaths so you have that opportunity. If you feel super strong, you can do a cheeky dolphin, it's up to you. Let's do the other side. Left leg rises, breath in. Exhale, step between hands. We'll come into the lizard variations. So bring the hands on the inside of the foot, walk the left foot towards the left. You can keep that knee up and bring the elbows down potentially. It's quite a fiery stretch, or you can lower the back knee. If you want to take some of the options from before, you can come up off your back knee. That left shoulder comes underneath the left knee. Maybe hands come into a bind behind you. Chin towards chest, try to even the hips out. If you're in this, it's actually quite easy to come, not easy, but it's easier to come into your arm balance because your shoulder's already under your knee. You can bring your chest forward, bend your elbows a lot, and maybe come into your arm balance. Just an option, you do not have to do it. It's just there for those of you who want to try. Come back into lizard wherever you are, sink the back knee and relax. Get back the breath if it's going a little fast. Let's prepare to come up. So come onto your hands, tuck your back toe, lift the knee. Prepare your legs to come up into a lunge. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, come into arrowhead, sweep hands behind you. Optional here to stay or reach forward to make it a little more fiery. You can bind the fingers to make a pistol or have the hands open, whatever feels better. Inhale, rise up into crescent. Exhale, sink a little lower. Hands to heart, breath in to lengthen, exhale to twist towards the left. So you can stay here in your twist, which is an awesome opening. You can open the hands up. And are you going for a bind? That's even harder. There you go. And if you want to try the balance, you can start to lift that leg up and have the hands to heart. Or if you've got your side crow, it's a bit different coming in this way, but you bring the hands down, make that little shelf, and then you can start to balance on your hip bones, basically. But just choosing your option. Almost there, Anna. One more breath. So close. It's a weird way to get in. Open up into warrior two. Maybe shimmy out the legs. Gaze in front of your front foot. Half moon. Stepping forward, flexing the foot and raising up. Maybe raise the hand up if you want a little bit more balance. Actually helps you straighten through the pose too. Maybe coming into a little bind if you want to do that. One more breath wherever you are. And exhale, fold forward, standing leg splits. Pointing or flexing through the foot and seeing how the difference is for you. One more breath wherever you are. Exhale, bring the feet together. Grab the elbows, ragdoll. Gentle swing from side to side. We're going to come down into a squat when you're ready. Have your feet about hip width apart. Bring your hands to your heart and just breathe for a moment. So closing the eyes and bringing that attention to the breath. So we've just hit that peak of that bell curve. We've got a couple more intermediate level and then we're going to take it to the floor. Folding forward over the legs. Step the feet together. Swing hands behind you, breath in. Exhale, come up into chair. Tilt your tailbone. Come a little lower. Now, if it feels better for your body, you can have your feet hip width apart. You just do what feels better for you. Some people prefer to have their toes together and heels out. So just have a play. Do you know where we're going? We're going into a twist. So inhale to lengthen through chest, exhale over towards the right. So towards the hanging plants, yeah, the non-line wall. We have the same options that we had before. So you can open the arms as option one. It's quite a challenge, it really stretches through your back. Or you can stay in the prayer and you can have a play with lifting that left foot up off the floor to balance. That's a challenge in itself. Or your side crow. This is the way we normally come into it. So if you've got your side crow, maybe that's your option to come in to that today. And just have a play. Doesn't matter if you don't get it today or have a little stack. Happens to all of us. And then fold forward over the legs when you're ready. Coming back out through your twist. Folding over your legs. Interlace 2 fingers around your big toe. Inhale deeply, exhale, fold over the thighs. Having your feet nice and wide will help you feel supported here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale one more time. Interlace fingers around that big toe and fold. See if you can bring your chest onto your quads first. So bend your knees as much as you need to, and then start to work on straightening the legs. Inhale, releasing those hands, step the feet together. Breath in, hands behind you. Exhale, chair. We'll do the other side. Again, make sure you see your toes, tilting the tailbone. Come a little deeper. It actually makes your side twist a lot easier if you're a bit deeper. So inhale, hands to heart. Lengthen through chest first, and then hook the elbow around, twisting to the left. This is a really great twist. You don't need to take it any further than this if you don't want to. This is a really great pose. You can have a play with opening the arms, just being mindful that this is going to really increase that twist in the back. Or hands at heart, try to balance raising that right foot. Or if you want to come into your side crow, hands to floor, and come into that version. Makes it more of a challenge, it's a little bit hot and sweaty, a little slidey. And when you've had enough, come out of the pose the same way you went in. So coming into your twist and then folding over your thighs. Well done. You made it through that sympathetic nervous system pumping of the heart and getting that, all those hormones pumping in the body. Gorilla pose. Bring the palms underneath the balls of the feet. Maybe give yourself a little massage with your toes. Inhale, lengthen through spine, and exhale to fold. Removing those hands, stepping the feet wide, coming into a squat, bringing that head above the heart, close the eyes and breathe. Those of you who would like to take a cheeky little crow before going back into down dog, you can come up onto your hands and have a little crow pose, optional jump back. Otherwise, if you're in your squat, just hands on the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through legs. And this is where we start to slow the class down. We'll reach that right leg tall. Exhale, step the right knee towards the right wrist. Preparing for, normally we come into half pigeon, but today we're going to bring that back leg around for deer. For shoelace. So we're bringing the knees almost on top of each other. Do it from the front. The tops of the feet are going out to the sides of the body. And what's really common especially when I first did this one, I was like this. So my my left glute was off the floor and I didn't feel very much. So what you can do is bring that hand underneath your right glute, lift it up and place it in the middle. Now, if this feels really horrible on your knees, then you can just cross your legs and fold forward because you still get a great stretch like this. If it feels okay, you can stay here. If you've got more, you can fold forward. But just being mindful of the knee. That's how you can make friends, yeah. I like that water bottle, cute. And this is where some people will find this really challenging because we're sitting with our thoughts. And some people will find this really enjoyable because they like it when they slow down. Just bringing that mind's eye to the breath. Scanning the body. And seeing if there's any little muscles you can let go of. Walking the hands back up from whichever pose that you took. And we're bringing that right leg straight underneath you. The left knee comes over the top, so it's again stacking the knees. If this doesn't feel nice, please just do the normal half forward fold with the foot on the inside of the leg, okay? If you want to try this version, it just makes it more intense for the back of the leg. You can reach tall through the hands and start to fold forward. You'll feel less flexibility in this version because you're unable to bend the knee. And if you have tight hamstrings like me, it can feel quite full on. Sometimes a little bit of a wiggle of the toes can help. And giving that deep belly breath. You can even bring in that samavriti, that equal part breathing. One more breath wherever you are. Walking your hands up. We'll keep that knee over the top, but place the left foot on the floor. Coming into Lord of the Fish. Right hand comes around and we twist towards a lion. Beautiful. You can flex that bottom foot to feel a little bit more through your hamstring and keep it active. Chin to chest. Inhale, come back to center, counter stretch, hands to the floor on the right. Exhale, lower the chest down. Inhale, back to center. Hands behind you, reverse tabletop. Optional to keep your ankle on your quad, and it just gives you a little bit of an extra opportunity to open the hip. Look towards belly or head falls back. Exhale, glutes to floor. Straighten both the legs out, close together. We'll just get the hips in the right position, reach tall and fold. Double forward fold. Now I like to make this one quite passive so you can bend the knees and you can use that breath to help you fold. Through that slowing down of the practice and the slowing down of the breath and the movement, we can encourage that sympathetic nervous system. Walking the hands back, crossing the legs, jumping or stepping back into your downward facing dog, whichever way feels better for you. Pedal out the legs. Inhale, reaching that left leg nice and tall, three-legged dog, and then bring that left knee towards left wrist, preparing for your log pile or your shoelace. So bringing that back foot around and seeing if you can get the knees almost like going towards that direction. Some of you are doing pretty good with that. I find it quite challenging. So feet to the sides, make sure the hips are in the middle. And if there's pain in the knee, just bring the feet wider or come into a cross-legged position. And fold forward wherever you are. Maybe you don't fold forward, that's okay too. If you're Emma, you just fall asleep with your head on the floor, yeah? Sometimes it's nice when you've worked really hard and then you get into these slow postures and your body really feels able to release. One more breath wherever you are. Hands walk back up. We'll straighten that bottom leg out in front of you and stack the knees. So you're bringing the top of that right foot onto the floor. Allows you to stack. And then we fold forward if we can. Sometimes people will just stay here. See how you feel. If this doesn't feel nice, you know the option of your normal half fold forward. And maybe just turn that torchlight inward to see how you're responding to the slower postures. Do you find them more or less challenging than the faster postures? If the mind wanders, just taking it back to the sensation of the body or the breath. Walking those hands up when you're ready. Placing that right foot flat on the floor, Lord of the Fish. The left hand hooks around and we're twisting towards the plant, hanging plant wall. Nice to get nice and long through that spine. Just relax that chin to chest. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to the floor on the other side, counter stretch. Exhale, chest to floor. Inhale back up. Hands behind you, coming into reverse tabletop. Optional to keep your foot, your ankle onto your quad and coming up. As you open the knee to the side, you'll feel more of an opening in the hip. The more that you push your hips towards the roof, the more of an opening you will feel as well. One more breath. Exhale, glutes to floor. Feet in front of you. We're going to go a little wider this time for a wide forward fold, as wide as you can with your neighbor. And then folding over the legs. So giving that whole back body that chance to fold. Spending so much time seated, our hamstrings and glutes get really short and tight. Or if you're a runner or a cyclist, this is really great for your backs of your legs and back body. One more breath wherever you are. And walking the hands back up. I like to place my hands behind my knees because sometimes after a big stretch, it's quite hard to engage them straight away. Shift your glutes forward, open the chest. We're going to come back onto our backs, but take it slow with core. So I like to make a round spine to make it easier. Tilt the tailbone under, chin to chest, and slowly start to lower each vertebra on the floor one at a time. See if your feet can stay on the floor, that's the challenge. Curve your spine a lot, chin even more to chest, tilt your tailbone. Take it slow, all the way down, awesome. And when you're on the floor, bend your knees, tickle the backs of your heels. We'll come into back bends. So we'll do 2 back bends today. We'll do, if you want to stay in bridge and then do a wheel second, you can. Just see how you're feeling. Tickle the backs of the heels, inhale to prepare, exhale to rise up. Interlace hands behind your back, open your chest. More restorative bridge, you can just stay here. If you want to try some leg raises, you can do that. Or if you just want to take this a little bit easier after a strong first part of the class, please do. Engage those glutes, tilt the tailbone towards the heels. Push the heels into the floor. We'll take 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then slowly start to come out. So we're bringing that upper back, middle back, and lower back to floor. Windscreen wiping the knees from side to side. Optional final back bend, you can do the same. We'll have 10 breaths. So if you want to come into bridge or leg raises, or last option is wheel, we'll have 10 breaths in whichever version you would like to take. So inhale to prepare and exhale to come up. We'll come up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. If you did leg raises, swap sides. 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out, taking it easy, bringing that upper back, middle back, and lower back to floor. I like to lift my heels up when I do that. Bring your knees into chest and let them fall to one side. Coming into that twist. Inhale to center and exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center, and we'll take an inversion of your choice. So this is your opportunity if you're working on a pose, that you can take it. So a pincher pose or a headstand, handstand, any type of inversion that you wish. Otherwise, we'll do shoulder stand together. So if you're starting with yoga, you can do waterfall, which is having your feet just up like this and your back on the floor. If you would like to take shoulder stand, coming up. Squeezing your glutes and almost like have your balls of the feet towards the roof, like you're tiptoeing on the roof. If you would like, you can flex the feet and come into plow, which is bringing the feet behind you. If they're flat on the floor, you can lower the hands behind you. If they're not, you can just bend the knees and bring them in towards your face and keep your hands on your back. Come out of the posture, you can bend your knees a lot, put your hands behind you like brakes, and slowly the spine comes down onto the floor, using the abs to guide you. You can start to do that with straight legs as you get a little stronger. Bringing the feet down when you're ready. Inhale deeply, exhale. We'll come into fish pose if you did your shoulder stand, which is bringing the hands underneath the glutes, and then we bend the elbows and open the chest. We do it on the floor. So bring the hands under the glutes, palms down, point through the feet, bend your elbows and look up like you're looking at someone on the beach, and then let your head fall back. This just puts your neck and chest into an opposite position of your shoulder stand. It's a counterbalance stretch. One more breath, and to come out, we look up towards our feet, straighten the arms, come down. Supine twist, that bringing that right knee in towards the chest, and exhale it over the top of the body. Inhale back to center. Straighten both legs out. And exhale the left knee in towards chest. And over the top of the body. Inhale back to center. And taking any last pose you feel you need, maybe a happy baby if the sacrum's a little sensitive, can feel quite nice for your back. So grabbing the outsides of the feet can feel quite nice and bringing the elbows in towards the armpits. And when you're done finding your final resting pose, your Shavasana. And this is where you allow your body to completely relax. And deepening the breath. And pay attention to the body now. That sympathetic nervous system, which stops those hormones like cortisol, the stress hormone, and allows us to relax. Digestion comes back, reproductive organs come back. The longer we can stay here, the better it is for the body. So knowing this place is here for you whenever you need it. It's only a few breaths away. When you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes. If it feels right, reach the hands up over the head and stretch, just mindful of your neighbour's tippy toes. And exhale, bring the knees into chest. Give yourself a little cuddle. Maybe a little rock from side to side. That's my favourite little thing to do at the end of a class. And coming onto your favourite side, keeping your knees in towards your chest and eyes closed. helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. The new those metal water bottles are always doing that. Mine does it too. And we'll keep those eyes closed because we spend so much time looking in the external world for happiness, for pleasure, for so many things, validation. But what yoga teaches us is that we need to look inside for those things first. So taking this moment to keep the eyes closed. Bring your hands to your heart center if that feels right for you. Take a breath in. Exhale, namaste.